first ever beginning. Okay. Ready to go again? Welcome to this special convocation of Memorial University, coming to you from the Lawrence O'Brien Arts Center in Happy Valley-Goose Bay, on the homelands of the Innu and Inuit of Labrador. This first ever session held in Labrador is being convened to confer honorary degrees upon two distinguished Inuit Elders, G. Jean Crane and Nellie May Winters. This session of convocation is being presided over by Dr. Susan Dyer Knight, Chancellor of Memorial University, and Dr. Vianne Timmins, President and Vice Chancellor. The university procession is led by the University Marshal Bert Riggs. In addition to the dignitaries that you'll be seeing on the screen who are seated on the stage today, we also have with us Dr. Elizabeth Panashaway, an honorary graduate, performing the land welcome, Ms. Mina Campbell, performing lighting of the Kudlik, Mr. Johannes Lamp, President of Nunatsiavut, Ms. Yvonne Jones, MP for Labrador, Ms. Catherine Anderson, Special Advisor to the President on Indigenous Affairs, and His Worship Mayor Wally Anderson of Happy Valley-Goose Bay, along with Dr. Tim McNeil, honorary graduate. The mace, a symbol of the authority vested in the university, is carried by Jamie Jackman of the Labrador Institute of Memorial University. Convocation will be officially open when the mace is placed on the table in front of the presiding officer. The processional and recessional music for this special convocation is provided by Voices of the Drum. Guitarist Richard Neville will also perform during the ceremony, as will soprano Deantha Edmonds and Matthew Barrett.
Please join me in singing our national anthem. O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all our sons command. Car ton bras sait porter l'épée, il sait porter la croix. Ton histoire est une épopée des plus brillants exploits. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Please be seated.
I now declare Convocation open. We acknowledge that we gather today on the traditional homelands of the Innu and Inuit of Labrador, and we recognize with respect their ancestral and continued ties to the lands and waters of this region. We also recognize that Memorial University is also situated on the ancestral homelands of the Beothuk and the ancestral and continued homelands of the Mi'kmaq. We strive for and are committed to respectful relationships with all the peoples of this province as we search for collective healing and true reconciliation and honor this beautiful land together. Good afternoon. Ulukut. Jibushnakatnau Jish. Welcome to Memorial University's first ever convocation ceremony in Labrador. I think I may take this off now. I get so used to wearing it. We're so glad to welcome you all here on this very, very special occasion. We're holding this special convocation here in Happy Valley-Goose Bay in January 2021 to recognize and celebrate two extraordinary women, Elder Jean Crane and Elder Nellie Winters, by conferring honorary Doctor of Laws degrees upon them. The honorary degree is Memorial's highest honor. This is also the first convocation that Memorial has held during the COVID-19 pandemic. Last spring and last fall, due to public health restrictions on the size of public gatherings, we had to postpone our regular convocation ceremonies when Elders Crane and Winters were scheduled to receive honorary doctorates. So it is extra special that we are able to bring this ceremony to them today for the singular purpose of conferring these degrees. So it's an ill wind that blows no good. We're delighted to be here, first but not last for sure, in Labrador. People viewing this ceremony, and you can view it, that's one of these wonderful technicians that we have down here. That's one of the advantages, that each memorial convocation is captured and may be seen over and over by your great-grandchildren, possibly even. But people viewing this ceremony will see that it differs from regular Memorial University convocations in some aspects. Of course, we are following public health regulations, so there is very limited in-person attendance here in the Lawrence O'Brien Arts Centre, and we are all following physical distancing, sanitizing, and masking requirements, and some people are rather over-following them. Additionally, to respect the cultural practices and traditions of the peoples of Labrador, the ceremony includes elements that honor the place in which we gather and the women who we are honoring. To continue with our proceedings, it is now my privilege to call upon Dr. Jagwish Panashaway to give the land welcome. Dr. Panashaway?
Tasnigaashon Augustus Kautot Camino Manituin Chimate. Team Togo Kumnash Jimana Totogan Tokunishigan. Tontawin Anginos Kotkata in Jemas Mon Dance Tasnigaashon Jema Babens the Bay Jonas Perspecici Window Oscot Chimato Test Ashamananji Kashagat Boysagan Payujijo. Jayspania te Rupen, Miaga is Vespoinum Jiga Choimet, Egoin Stemnan, Echaviat, the Egot Poguinan, Gatot Cam Chago, Chimate, and Schumden Chendo. What the Nigas on Go set Koto, Camino, Manituin, Chimate.
Thank you, Dr. Panashaway. And I'd like now to call upon Ms. Mina Campbell to light kulik.
Thank you. And thank you for inviting me here today. This will be my first time lighting my hudlik in a public setting like this, and I think that it's very fitting that I do it at this special occasion. As I light it, I think about my ancestors, especially the women, as it's an Inuit women's lamp, and it was used primarily by the women, but for practical uses, for light, and for cooking, and for heat. And they would have had a larger hudlik than what I have here. But I think of my great-grandmothers and my aunts and all the women that would have used the hudlik for those purposes in the past. I think about how strong and resilient they would have been, very much like the two women that we're honoring here today. And so I'm very proud to be doing this today. I'm proud to be here, and I'm proud of them. So Nakumik, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Campbell. I'd like now to call upon our President and Vice Chancellor, Dr. Vianne Timmons, to address Convocation.
Madam Chancellor, Mr. President, Your Worship, distinguished elders, members of the Board of Regents, members of the Senate and faculty, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and if there are any students watching, a special shout out to you. Good afternoon, and welcome to this historical special convocation of Memorial University, the first to be held in Labrador. And it is truly an honor to return to this land of my youth to convey honorary degrees on these two extraordinary women, respected elders who have been lifelong advocates for Labrador and for Inuit arts, culture, and heritage. You know, since 1950, when Memorial held its first convocation, more than 100,000 degrees have been conferred, and more than 500 honorary graduates have crossed the stage to receive their degrees. We are so pleased to be able to add these two names to the roster of honorary graduates today. Elder Jean Crane is a renowned artist, healer, and community advocate. She is a long-standing supporter for equity and accessibility for educational opportunities in Labrador, designed and delivered in the North, by the North. She was a member of Memorial's Board of Regents for 7 years and was the elder on the strategic task force that led to the creation of our new School of Arctic and Subarctic Studies. She's also been a lifelong advocate for women's rights and safety, leading the development of the first women's shelter and transition house in Labrador. An amazing accomplishment. Jean Crane embodies the principles of leadership, advocacy, community commitment, and wisdom. She combines her deep ancestral way of knowing and living from the land with an insatiable curiosity and passion for learning. She touches hearts and minds with her kindness, her compassion, and her leadership, and her lifetime of contributions are immeasurable. For her contributions to women's rights, to education, and to Indigenous arts and culture, and for her spiritual leadership and healing, and for showing us all how to live better in this world, Elder Crane will receive an honorary Doctorate of Law degree today. And that is wonderful. Elder Nellie Winters is a renowned Inuit artist, recognized as a generational as a generational artistic talent for her mastery of traditional Inuit art forms. She is recognized as a master artist in a wide variety of mediums. She is an expert garment designer and seamstress, and one of the most influential artists in the Nunatsiavut region, and probably the most prolific. Do you know that she kept track of the first 500 parkas? Now, that is actually accurate. 500 parkas that she sewed. But then she stopped counting decades ago. Her long list of works include parkas and traditional coats, caribou tuffing, grasswork, beadwork, carvings, wall hangings, bone jewelry, and paintings. Amazing. Her mentorship, guidance, and teaching has lit the path for countless young Inuit artists. In addition, she encourages diverse audiences to consider the importance and beauty of home and Inuit culture, the injustices of relocation and residential schools, and our responsibilities toward our land. For her unique and prolific contributions to Inuit art and for mobilizing Inuit cultural heritage, Elder Winters is receiving an honorary degrees of law, an honorary doctorate of law degrees today. Congratulations. You know, one of the most endearing and active relationships between and among Memorial, Labrador, and the three Indigenous groups over the years has been the Labrador Institute of Memorial University. For over 60 years, the Labrador Institute has provided a presence in and a connection to Labrador for Memorial. Initially designed to be an extension arm of the university, the Institute has evolved into a vibrant, multifaceted operation dedicated to meeting the needs and priorities of Labrador and the North. It provides high-quality educational opportunities and leading-edge research. It is a special place, essential not only to Memorial's identity and influence in the province, but also to the fabric of Northern research and education in this country. And now, with the creation of the new School of Arctic and Subarctic Studies and plans for the development of a permanent campus in Labrador, it is time, as Elder Crane reminded the Labrador Institute Strategic Task Force, to learn from the trees. We need to climb high towards the light, branch out for diversity, and ensure we foster strong roots that ground, nourish, and connect us. Access to high-quality post-secondary education in one's home territory, reflective of one's culture, lands, and ancestors, is a fundamental right that should be a reality and not a dream. And it was just a dream when I was growing up in Labrador. Indeed, Elder Winters reminds us of this and speaks to the many challenges of having to leave one's home for an education in her memoir, Reflection from Them Days. The development of the new School of Arctic and Subarctic Studies and a Labrador campus is foundational to the continued growth and success of Labrador, Memorial University, this province, and the North. Labrador has the people, the places, and the experiences to be a vibrant place of innovation and discovery. Our future will be guided by the peoples, lands, and waters of Labrador, as well as the elders and leaders such as Elder Crane and Elder Winters. Our commitment and responsibility to Indigenous peoples extend beyond Labrador to the entire province. Indigenizing Memorial University is a critical step in the reconciliation process, and last fall, a draft strategic framework for indigenization was released on our campus. The university worked in partnership with Indigenous peoples of the province to develop this framework, and it sets out 4 strategic priorities: leadership and partnership, teaching and learning, research, and student success. You know, the final draft was received endorsement from the university's academic body, the Senate, at its meeting on December 1st, or in December, and many cheered at that time. I look forward to bringing forth this important piece of work for approval of our governing body, the Board of Regents, in March. These two initiatives are supported by other developments at our university, such as an active search for cluster hiring of Indigenous faculty, the creation of a new position, an Associate Vice President Indigenous Research, and the development of a policy on research impacting Indigenous groups, Memorial's first institutional policy related to Indigenous research, and among the first of its kind in Canada. You know, over the past decade, Memorial has made significant progress in recognizing its relationship with Indigenous communities, and we've learned a great deal from the people of Labrador who have maintained a deep relationship with this beautiful land for generations. I am committed to strengthening university Indigenous relationships, implementing Indigenous ways of knowing, being, and doing within our academic programs, research, and student services, and so is the entire Memorial family. And because of this, I am so pleased. Well, I am ecstatic, actually, thrilled that these two remarkable elders are joining the Memorial family. I know their commitment to community and education, their contributions to Inuit art, history, and culture, and their wisdom and kindness inspire not just Indigenous students of the future, but all students of Memorial University. On behalf of the entire university community, congratulations to both of you. I'd like to end with a poem titled A Prayer for Ancestors and the Land, written by Elder Crane, and I cannot imagine a better way of ending my speech. Theirs were the voices of the land. They spoke in ancient tongue. They often spoke and were not heard, as if no meaning to their word. Where was justice way back then? The heart beat faint, the spirit wept. We come full circle in this place, the stranger and the ancient races. Healing now, the heart beats strong, the spirit sings. Nankumik, Chinus Kumidinau. Thank you. I will now invite Dr. Ashley Consolo, our inaugural Dean of our School of Arctic and Subarctic Studies and the Labrador Institute, to address Convocation. Thank you. You can clap and be joyous. This is the time to do it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Madam President. As we observe the protocol. Madam Chancellor, Mr. President, Madam President, Your Worship, members of the Board of Regents, members of Senate and faculty, distinguished guests, family, and friends, both in person and those who are joining us virtually, and of course, the elders gathered here today, including the two amazing honorary doctorate recipients, Elder Jean Crane and Nellie May Winters. It's such an immense pleasure and a privilege to gather here today on the homelands of the Innu and Inuit to celebrate this historic day by honoring two incredible, inspiring, and path-breaking Inuit women. As President Timmins mentioned, we're going through a period of transition and transformation at the Labrador Institute with the announcement of the new School of Arctic and Subarctic Studies, the development of Northern Focus and Indigenous-led university programming, and the establishment of a permanent campus of Memorial University here in Labrador. This is not only an extremely exciting moment for all of us, but one filled with immense responsibility, and a responsibility that we take very seriously. We know we cannot do this alone. We know we need to learn from the lands and waters, the plant and animal kin, and the languages and cultures of Labrador. And we know we need to learn especially from the elders and the knowledge keepers who carry the stories and the wisdom for generations. And today, we are honoring two exemplars of such elders and wisdom keepers, two women who have contributed so very much to Labrador communities, societies, and well-being, to Inuit language, culture, and arts preservation and promotion, and to education and supporting and encouraging generations of young people in their learning aspirations. So to Elder Jean Crane and Elder Nellie May Winters, thank you for the ongoing support and encouragement, your guidance and your wisdom, and your patience and your perseverance, and for all you have taught us and all you have learned. To both of you, I say, we stand on your shoulders and we learn at your feet. We walk the paths you have forged, and we forge our own with your encouragement and support. We learn to lead with both head and heart, and to center community and relationships above all. We remember the strength of those who have come before, and we work tirelessly to foster that strength, your strength, in ourselves and in others. We know that language and culture and knowing who you are in this world is both power and medicine and needs to guide all we do. And we know to look to the land, always to the land, for grounding and for learning, and to create space for the lands and waters of Labrador to be both our curriculum and our professors. We know that making and creating is one of the most beautiful and honorable things we can contribute to this world, and we celebrate the joy and pride that brings. We carry the gifts of the stories you have told within us, knowing these stories will reemerge when we need them the most, and that they will continue to endure and live on. And we believe in the power of dreaming and aspiring, and we know that the ability to dream and aspire is a fundamental human right, and that accessible education in place makes space for those dreams and those aspirations. And we know that education is more than just learning. It carries the ability to right past wrongs, to heal people and lands, and to reclaim the strength of cultures for individual and community flourishing. So creating a new school, university programming, and a campus in Labrador is possible because of people like you and inspired because of people like you. Indeed, because of people like you, Elders Nellie and Jean, we are able to envision Labrador futures full of love and learning, strength and solidarity, resilience and reclamation. And we are able to strive towards futures of thriving, flourishing, and self-determination. So Elders Nellie and Jean, we thank you and we honor you. We thank you for all you have taught us and all you have contributed to this world and to making our dreams and the dreams of so many others possible. And we honor you because without your wisdom, your strength, your dedication, your perseverance, your advocacy, and your utter brilliance, we would not be where we are today. Thank you for making aspirations of higher education in Labrador not only possible, but all the richer and more beautiful. And thank you for all you have contributed to Labrador and to the world. Nakumek, with all my heart. And congratulations, a huge congratulations from all of us at the Labrador Institute and the School of Arctic and Subarctic Studies on this most deserved and most fitting honor today, with all of our hearts. Thank you.
Thank you very much, President Timmons and Dean Consolo. At all of our convocations at Memorial, we feature music of some special kind at every single convocation, and it is a cultural statement as well as a way to celebrate. But the music here that we're going to share with you is beyond special, and we've never had anything like it before. It's very exciting, and I'm going to introduce to you now Diantha Edmonds. Diantha led us in O Canada at the beginning, and she is one of Canada's first and only Inuit professional classical singer and recording artist. Miss Edmonds has performed on stages across the world. A proud resident of Newfoundland and Labrador, she is a 2017 laureate of the prestigious Natashan Foundation Reveal Indigenous Arts Awards. And she's also a two-time Dora Maver Moore Award-nominated performer, singer, actor, and collaborator in both Indigenous and non-Indigenous projects. An urban Inuk, Ms. Edmonds aims to empower Indigenous people and share their stories. Among her most recent accomplishments, her solo album, My Beautiful Home, was nominated for the 2020 East Coast Music Awards Indigenous Artist of the Year. In February 2020, she performed at the Arctic Inspiration Prize 2020 awards ceremony in Ottawa, where she debuted an original song with a string quartet. Please join me in welcoming Deantha Edmonds and her accompanist, Matthew Barrett.
Nakumik, thank you so much. It is my honor to be here to sing for you today. I will be singing Saimatigut Yisusi, an evening prayer that is still sung in some of the Moravian churches on the north coast of Labrador to greet the new year. Uvabting nilaurid Jesus, uvluxi uvignalimat, uvlumi saimatig aptigut, uvlumi saimatig aptigut, saimati lang mitigut, saimati lang mitigut. Tu sapatitan inirut, inuvigium avludit, piniarutig vlugili, piniarutig vlugili, ayurung naiditivut, ayurung naititivut. Tamasarai nalirapta, ayuhitut sonatigut, motivut nalictiruhit, motivut nalictiruhit, sapcuni aratigut, sapcuni aratigut. Iglugasanik takpani, tu avik sachatu ditut, illiuti tigutamani, illiaruti tigutamani, naligach tu satigut, naligach tu satigut.
Thank you very much, Deantha and Matthew. That was beautiful. I was imagining it. I've been to Nain. I can brag about that. It was a wonderful experience. So I'm just trying to imagine that. It's now time to proceed to the conferring of the degrees honoris causa.
Madam Chancellor, for the degree Doctor of Laws honoris causa, Jean Crane.
The Truth and Reconciliation Commission of Canada has challenged all sectors of Canadian society to work towards reconciliation in this country. Today, we have with us Labrador Inuit Elder G. Jean Crane, who is a guide on this path to reconciliation. As the daughter of Annie and Gilbert Blake and the great-granddaughter of Elizabeth Gowdy, Jean is a strong Labrador woman who, in her roles as mother, grandmother, great-grandmother, great-great-grandmother, friend, and advocate, guides us in the respectful relationships required on this land and working together. Jean is a wisdom keeper whose life has been devoted to key elements of reconciliation: education, healing, and community building. Jean has long known what Justice Murray Sinclair, the chair of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, told the rest of Canadians. Education is the key to reconciliation. She has a passion for learning, and as a child, she attended the Yale boarding school in Northwest River. Her home was along the opposite side in Cheshire. Jean would wave to her mother on the other side of the river, connecting across the breadth of that divide. Such reaching out across space and linking with others is a relationship skill that Jean has practiced throughout her life. Jean's involvement in education leadership began in 1979 when she became a member of Memorial University's Board of Regents and later through the Labrador Institute Advisory Council. During the Inuit Bachelor of Social Work and the Inuit Bachelor of Education programs, she was an elder and advisor, supporting both students and instructors alike. Jean connected with each one and took a personal interest in their well-being. She shared her knowledge and wisdom, which integrated cultural traditions and Labrador Inuit history, as well as current Labrador life and needs, into the students' learning. She stitched together the past and present, people and place, and the pragmatic wisdom of education for family and community sustainability. This valuing of education is reflected in her own family of Memorial University graduates. Jean was also the elder on the Labrador Institute Strategic Task Force, which led the way for the establishment of Memorial University's School of Arctic and Subarctic Studies, where she continues as the elder advisor on programs and the development of a permanent campus of Memorial University in Labrador. Jean's focus has always been on working together for the greater common good of all people. Jean cares deeply about people and holds an unwavering commitment to their wellness. In this way, for her, healing and reconciliation are collaborative endeavors. Jean studied practical nursing at the Grenville Mission and also knows the plant medicines and the ceremonies, such as drumming and prayers, which bring emotional, mental, and spiritual healing to people. She has provided healing workshops, services, and supports in Labrador and across Canada, including working with researchers on interweaving traditional and Western healing practices. In her role as elder, Jean offered an opening prayer at ceremonies during the Prime Minister's apology to Newfoundland and Labrador's residential school survivors here in 2017. She knows the healing power of the land, and she has taken many people to her cabin or other outdoor places where their spirits can be rejuvenated. Jean brings people together to build communities of equality, justice, and the shared human experience. She has been an advocate for women's rights and safety, and early on provided a safe haven in her own home for women experiencing domestic violence. She was the driving force behind the establishment of both the Mokami status of Women Council and Labrador's first transition house and women's shelter. Jean is an accomplished artist in many art forms. As a member of Lake Melville Artists Association, she nurtured community and worked for the establishment of the Labrador Arts Council. She has also cultivated community at her church, and in particular, she has been a leader and elder of the United Church Women's Group. In this lifetime of healing, community building, and work in education, Jean has guided us on a path to reconciliation. She has shared with us her wisdom and skills in bridging divides, enhancing our common well-being, and strengthening the social fabric of Labrador. Let us follow and honor her. Madam Chancellor, I present to you for the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa, Elder G. Jean Crane.
By virtue of the trust given to me to bestow this upon you, I grant you the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa. Congratulations. You can.
I really feel honored now. Thank you.
And so you should. Yes, indeed.
Thank you. Is it my turn to speak now?
Dr. Crane, we look forward to you addressing Convocation.
Thank you. Madam Chancellor, Madam President, there's a Mr. President also, Your Worship, distinguished elders, members of the Board of Regents, members of the Senate and faculty, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and all who came, and I have 4 children here. How many of you got 4 children who are old age pensioners? Somebody's getting old. I thought I would tell, I can't hear good today, my ear clear. Is it okay, the sound? I thought I would tell a drum story. And twice in the drum story, my 2 darling daughters, Grace and Rita, will stand with Mina and I and sound the drum. We're not going to sing a song, we're not going to play the drum. We're going to sound the drum. And you will know why as I read the story. And I will read because if I talk to you, I'd get carried away and you wouldn't have time. I wish to thank Dr. Ashley, Sylvia, who just talked, Rob Shea, who isn't here, but I love him dearly, and Catherine Anderson for nominating me for this honor. And I want to congratulate Nellie Winters, we are both sharing a very special today together, Nellie. And it's so wonderful meeting you. I look forward to getting to know you. I think I'm falling apart. Something should be somewhere. Am I wild enough looking? I don't know where this should be. We acknowledge that we are gathering on the ancient land, the trapline of our ancestors. The Innu people call this river Mississippi. In English, that means the Grand River. We welcome you, all of you, for coming, and thank you. Thank you, everybody, and those who are working here to make this possible. Before I celebrate today, I asked if it was okay for us to take a moment of silence, remembering those who passed away with this COVID-19 pandemic that is taking the lives of so many, and for those who grieve. And during the silence, I will stand here with you, and then the drummers and I who sound the drum will simply stand together and sound the drum to end that silence. I thought we should pay our respects to the families who are losing all of their people who so many have died. The world was never in this state, and I asked if I could take that moment. So I thank you, and may we stand, sit wherever you're comfortable. In a moment of silence, I will take my drum, and my two darling daughters of mine will join me. Thank you. I had asked about that because my mother had survived the Spanish flu in 1918 on the trapline in the Scotia River, and she recovered because an Innu woman came and nursed her back to health with herbs and berries and earth medicines. And my mother and the Innu friends, hi Elizabeth, have taught us many of the healing things that are in the big land that we may not have known about, but there are still people teaching those things. So thank you for having that moment. Now I will tell you a little about drums, and then I'll tell you a very short drum story, and you will know why we're not drumming a song. I grew up in Sessashi and Northwest River. I grew up in the Innu community, and they always played the drum. They played the drum at the gatherings, the Mugashans. They still do. Their drums never lost their sound in the big land all over the country. When the Moravian missionaries came to our Inuit land, they declared that the drum was heathen and forbade the drum. Those who followed the teachings hung up their drums. The drum was silent. A few years ago, an Inuit elder was passing away. He told us that his father had taught them that when the drum is heard again, there will be peace in our land. He fancied he would like to hear the drum calling when he passed away. 10 of us, Mina, you were there, 10 of us gathered for 3 days and nights, and we drummed the elder out, and he died hearing the drum. In March 1910, I worked with Gwen Watts, the new Nancywood Cultural Coordinator for Memorial University Inuit Bachelor of Social Work program. We planned together to take the students to camp in tents. We gathered at Muskrat Falls before they began to harness the falls. We took the students, about 32 there, to have a few days on the land, on the ancient land, to remember our culture on the trapline. The rivers were the highways. The trappers paddled in canoes in summer, and they walked on snowshoes in the winter. My story, my drum story begins here. The day we camped, I took the drum that Rita got now. I walked away from the tents. I hung the drum up in a tree. I gathered boughs to sit on the snow under the drum, and I told the students that they could sit with the drum and let their minds go blank. They could sound the drum or just hold it. At bedtime, Gwen and I, along with our camp keeper, sounded the drum in our tent. Then we went to bed in sleeping bags on boughs in March, as much snow as we got right now. Can you imagine that? And we had a good fire in the tent stove. We were very comfortable. Around 2 a.m. in the morning, like I needed to go to the outhouse. Coming back to the tent, I heard a drum far away. A beautiful melodic drum. And I had camped on that campground many moons ago with my family and with Innu gatherings. At that time long ago, when I was young, there was an old blind man, and he played the drum. And I remember growing up listening to him and dancing to his drum. It sounded like the old blind man who used to drum so long ago at these gatherings at that place. Do you know we're only a few miles down the road from Muskrat Falls right now? It was so beautiful. I stood out in the snowstorm and danced a while, like I would, minor. And I was listening to the drumming. When I went back into the tent, I asked Edna, who was awake, about 2:30 in the morning, if she had heard the drum, and she had. So I know now it's not just my imagination. People can't tell me that. I didn't think it was Alex who played the drum with us, because if Alex played the drum, he would go hard and beat the drum and hammer it. I wondered how the hide could hold. In the morning, I asked Alex if he had taken the drum away from the camp and played the drum, and he said no, he had not. He said his drum was still in the gathering tent, and he was sleeping in the kitchen tent. There was a good-looking woman there. I asked the rest of the group if anyone else had heard it. When we gathered, there were 7 of us who had heard the drum that night. After we returned home from that camp trip back to the valley, I went to Sessashi and I asked the elder who was drummer at that time in Sessashi, what did this experience mean, hearing the drum in the night when there was nobody else in the camp for miles around us? He said that they too had heard the drumming on other occasions when they camped at Muskrat Falls. He said it was the spirit of the old blind man drummer that I heard when I was young. He said sometimes the old man comes back and plays the drum, and he said it was the spirit of the old man that I had heard that night, and I was not alone hearing it. He said the old man was saying, "Well done, woman, well done. You're bringing the students back to the land to remember who we are and from whence we came." Nakamik, Neskamitten, thank you. Here we will do again. To end it, we will stand together and drum again very quickly, very quietly. And this is why you're hearing a quiet drum, not a song.
Representing 4 seasons, the 4 colors of the human race, and the 4 directions.
Thank you. This is an ancient Mi'kmaq drum made by Chief Mizel Joe, who would like to be here but could not come. It's made from a tree. Simply saw the tree slice and dig it out. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Crane. It will be long remembered, and not just because it's been filmed, but for everybody who has had the honor to be here and learn from you. Thank you. I'm very pleased now to introduce our second performer for this afternoon, and that is musician Richard Neville. He has been providing music for us throughout this ceremony. He is a singer-songwriter from the coastal Labrador community of Black Tickle. He writes and performs songs inspired mostly by the people, culture, and history of Labrador. He is an accomplished guitarist who for several years accompanied recordings of Harry Martin and also performed with him in many of his live concerts. He is also much sought after as a studio musician by other recording artists. Richard has performed live from one side of Canada to the other, and abroad as far away as South Africa and Antarctica. In recognition of his more than 30 years of leadership in Labrador music, he was awarded a Labradorian of Distinction honor from the federal government of Canada. Please join me in welcoming Richard Neville.
I'd like to say thank you to everybody for having me here. It's a very historic event, and I'd like to congratulate the honorary graduates. It's an amazing event to be a part of, so thank you. Nakamik. I have no silver, no diamonds, no gold. I'm far richer by the visions I hold, for I seen the mountains, I've seen the sea, I've seen all that beauty, lived a life that was free. When the cool autumn moonlight shines down through the trees, no place under heaven would I rather be, where the wild birds are flying and the caribou roam. Many places I've rambled, but this is my home. And when I'm weary and it's time to rest, please take this old body to the place I love best, somewhere on that mountain. Turn my face to the sea and let the wind in the treetops just sing me to sleep. For I've seen those topmost mountain, and I've been to the sea, and all of that beauty is like heaven to me, where the wild birds are flying and the caribou roam. Many places I've rambled, but this is my home.
Thank you very much, Richard. That was beautiful. We're being really treated here this afternoon to this gorgeous singing.
For the degree, Doctor of Laws, honoris causa, Nellie May Winters.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I gotta try and say this. Madam Counselor. Oh.
We're going to hear all about you.
Oh, okay. I done.
In June of 1861, while canoeing across the Labrador Peninsula, the geographer Henry Yule Hind and his brother, the painter William Hind, were awestruck by the glaring beauty of the landscape. Faced with this, Henry asked his brother William, "Can you paint that?" William, an artist revered today for his realism, responded, "You can paint the rocks, the ice, the trees, but the radiance and light are beyond human art." Madam Chancellor, today I know how William Hind felt in that moment. How can one sufficiently honor someone who has triumphed as Nellie Winters has? Who means so much to so many people in Nunatsiavut, in Labrador, in Canada, and beyond. Like Hind, replicating rocks, trees, and ice on canvas, we can recount the events and achievements that have earned Nellie Winters the distinction that brings us here today. That she was born in Okak Bay, attended the residential school in Nain, and was relocated to Makkovik, where she lives today. That she has 11 children, 57 grandchildren and great-grandchildren, and 2 great-great-grandchildren, approximately. I'm told it's hard to keep count. That she has been celebrated as an artist in various exhibits and publications, including the 1976 Olympics in Montreal, the 2018 touring exhibit and subsequent book, Sakiyayuk, Inuit Art and Craft from Nunatsiavut, and the eminent journal Inuit Art Quarterly, where she is described as technically proficient, prolific, influential, and exemplary. That her work has been purchased by and displayed in museums and institutions across Canada and internationally, including the rooms in the Confederation Building in St. John's and the British Museum in London. That she is an expert in multiple artistic mediums, including, but certainly not limited to, garments, textiles, embroidery, jewelry, dolls, and grass sewing. That she is revered by friends, family, and others for her eye, her memory, her smoked and dried fish, her sense of humor, her storytelling, and her spirit. That she is an Inuktitut speaker and a carrier, conservator, and teacher of Inuit knowledge and practices such as sewing, plant use, and carrying a CLI for protection. And that she is a mentor, teacher, researcher, and community leader, an Angyakak in the true sense of the word. However, Madam Chancellor, as impressive as this list of accomplishments is, words cannot capture her true radiance and light. Nellie is more than her own actions and experiences. Her art is the story of Labrador Inuit. Her paintings of her home community of Oakok Bay, from the documentary film Nellie Winters, Going Home to Oakok Bay, and her illustrations in her residential school memoir, Reflections from Them Days, communicate history and help us to acknowledge and reckon with Inuit experiences which the majority of us cannot comprehend. Her caps, mitts, coats, and boots, as beautiful as they are, have also helped to sustain Labrador Inuit and keep them warm, both on the land and in their hearts, as they too have learned from Nellie how to make these items, including her famous waterproof stitching. Her stories, read from books or spoken to generations of family, friends, and communities, shape the dreams of our children and will continue to put smiles on faces for generations to come. Nellie Winters has faced the colonialism that the Canadian and Newfoundland governments brought to Labrador and has come out the other side in a nook, with her powerful, joyful, and irrepressible spirit intact. She is a witness, a trendsetter, a matriarch, and a friend. And with the highest accolade Labrador can provide, she is Aunt Nellie. Madam Chancellor, Memorial University is changing. We are finally integrating our responsibility to the Inuit, Innu, and Mi'kmaq within our understanding of the institution's special responsibility to the people of the province. As we here in this room know, our service to Labrador has lagged behind our service to Newfoundland, but we see hope on the horizon. Future Inuit and Innu will stand on this stage, or a similar one, to be presented with their own degrees, and I have no doubt that many of them will speak the name of Nellie Winters as inspiration for their contributions and successes, just as some of Nellie's own grandchildren have in recent years as they completed degrees at the Labrador Institute and campuses of Memorial University. Having already been bestowed with Labrador's highest accolade, it is now fitting that Nellie Winters also be honored with the university's highest award. Madam Chancellor, I present to you, in all her indescribable radiance and light, for the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa, Nellie May Winters.
By virtue of the authority which has been entrusted to me, I confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'll read this first and then I'll read the bit I wrote up to read out to you. Madam Councillor, Master President, Madam President, Your Worship, leaders, members, board members, board regents, members of the Senate and faculties, yes, ladies and gentlemen. I got a few things wrote down. It's not too much, 2 pages. So I'll start off about stories from way back. I'll continue on. Back them days, living was very different to how we live now. We had no lights, only lamps, no running water, no freezers, no phones, no TVs. We had radios, aerials way up in the tree. We all had to learn to keep things. We never wasted any food. We shared things with others, help one another. Them days we learned to make things from our parents. I always liked making pretty things. I had to learn how to clean skins, put them in frame. Black skin boots is not easy to make. I made a lot of skin boots in my days. Skins that's not dressed is the best for the Labrador coast because it's waterproof. I taught in school 4 years, crafts and life skills. A lot of things I made is self-taught. I had my own craft store for 3 years. I had to give it up because I'm a cancer survivor. I taught Inuit Elders, and I was the interpreter for the hospital for 16 years, whenever they needed me. Back them days, everyone had big families. No birth control pills them days. No nurses, only midwives. All babies was born by midwives. Had to call them Inuit. That's nanny. And I'm going to just tell you now, my mother was a midwife, and here's one of the boys she delivered one time, Johannes left. And the boy had to give his first kill, even if it was a goose, a seal, or a fox, to his Inuit nanny. That gave them good luck. The girls had to give the first thing they made, slippers, boots, or mitts. That was the way them days. We had no mayors on the Yukaks. The Kikaks church elders were the leaders. I want to say a word about someone important to me. Aunt Miro, she's the oldest lady living from the coast. And Wally Anderson is her son. Aunt Miro and my mother used to be friends long ago. She was a good friend to my mother, and I am a good friend to her now. My mother and her used to be friends back when they were young girls. They had to be servants, servant girl, and they had to work hard. They stayed friends through all the years, even when we moved back from north in 1956, they were still friends. They both talked Eskimo, and they were bosom friends. I always liked going to the cabin, smoking trout, making Pepsis, taking grandchildren with me. I did a lot of that in my days. One summer I smoked trout and char for Garfield Warren and Premier Pickford. That's when Garfield Warren was the MHA. We used a lot of homemade remedies them days. I'll name a few. My mother had the yellow jaundice one time. We didn't know what it was. She was yellow and her water was like tea. And this old lady made her eat some seal liver, roast seal liver, and a spoonful of yeast, the kind of yeast you make bread with, twice a day. And she got well. My brother always had a bad toothache. This man down Cora went down to the beach, got a rock from the salt water. He said it got to be a rock from the salt water. Got a pan full of salt water, put the rock in the pan, put it on the wood stove, put this red lifebuoy soap in the water and made it real hot. Then my brother had to put his feet in the water. He had to stand the heat. In about half an hour, the pain was gone. I believe in things the way they did long ago. We only got around on dog teams. It wasn't fast, but we always got to where we were going. We didn't break down or get out of gas. I'm very glad and happy there's a lot of young people making coats and crafts in Makovic now. Some of my children, some grandchildren. A lot of daughters in Makovic, in all the other communities, keep up the good work, never give up. I still like sharing things. I didn't have much when I was a child, but I felt I had everything because we had faith, love, and kindness, what money can't buy. I'm getting ready right. The 4 seasons of the year gave us food, and the beauty of the land made me happy. This day is more special because it used to be my mother's birthday. I'm amazed and very happy to be given this award, little old me. I want to say this to all the ladies and gentlemen and students. Believe in yourself, have faith in yourself, and that will give you the strength to do whatever you have to do. I want to thank everyone that got me here. God bless.
Thank you very much, Dr. Winters. It was inspiring, and it reminds us of what's possible. The example of your life and of your life has been a real blessing here today. That brings us to the end of our special first Labrador Convocation, and I must say that I feel really grateful that we've been able to witness and celebrate with these remarkable women their lives, which will carry on now in a new and special way because of this day, their story, their accomplishments, and their challenges to the world. And especially because it's taken place in their radiant ancestral land. So, more singing now, and all of the music today, all of it, has come from Labrador, from the people of Labrador and the experiences of Labrador, every single bit of the music. We're going to close with the singing of Labrador Miut, and that is going to be led by our soprano guest, Diantha Edmonds, the only Inuk classical performer in our whole country. And I'm going to ask you that after this song has concluded, if you would remain standing and in your places while the voices of the drum perform the recessional music and the procession goes out the way it came in. And thank you to you for your music making today. That has been very special as well. So again, it's been a joy and a privilege to share this time with you today. And thank you for everybody being so welcoming and making us feel special by coming here to be with you.
It is an honor to sing Labrador Mute by the late Sid Dicker. To be a part of this great land should be the pride of any man. To know that we were born on these great shores. So listen while I tell, and it makes my old heart swell. I'm proud to be a son of Labrador. Hakaswangit putuyutima pubes anyani. Nanuit puilu inigiyangini. Kupswangit kuplapud nunatsuami. Tutuit amagoiti anialununangini. Tusanigit lataka nilit niliamata takulutalu Atlantic sitiami Ihaluni alutalu ukalini alutalu Atikangi lak Labradori silak swami. Its rugged mountains rise above the ocean, where polar bears and seals are to be found. Its sparkling rivers flow through mountain valleys, where the caribou and wolf and fox abound. I'm proud to be a son of Labrador.
And so, honorary graduates Dr. Crane and Dr. Winters are welcomed as full members of Memorial University's alumni body, a body that comprises the largest section of the university community. Around the world now, there are approximately 100,000 Memorial University alumni who hold more than 110,000 memorial degrees. The colorful gowns worn by members of the academic procession are representative of the different universities from which faculty members and administrators obtain their academic degrees. Memorial University's academic dress, including the distinctive scarlet-colored honorary doctorate robe, is modeled on the University of Oxford gowns, which originated centuries ago as clerical gowns. Thank you for attending and viewing the convocation.
Yep. That was the most